Oh my god, this is crazy!
Middleofnowheregaming.com. Everybody go to that website. Say we sent you.
Yeah, get that traffic
I bet they're really good at Minecraft. They're probably the antithesis of us.
This is the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast.
Welcome into episode 78 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Courtney Osborne, and today I am joined by the one and only Nintendo Ninja.
Lou hip-hop hands consoled.
No, it cannot be both. It is one or the other.
You
got
stick
both.
by that.
But you could be a ninja with hip-hop hands.
But the point of hip-hop hands, I want to grab people's attention. Ninja, I do not. So
See,
they work at odds.
This is why you are so bad at what you do.
Then why am I wearing a suit? That means I'm successful.
Have you ever
Ninjas
seen
don't wear suits.
Have you ever seen Soul Eater? Soul Eater has a character named Black Star, and he's a ninja who prides himself on being stealthy, and he is anything but stealthy. And he ruins every mission by, sneaking up behind somebody and then being like, I'm going to kill you because I'm the best! Like something like that. That's you with your hip-hop hands. Oh god, here comes another fucking bus. Okay, so, and then we're joined by the Destiny demigod, Miles.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape.
That
Yeah.
one's Planet of the Apes.
Yes,
obviously.
yes, it was.
I was warning the people in the chat real quick, so I was gonna say that too. I was like, "There's that ape movie, and I know what it is," but oh man. Okay. So, what is on the agenda today, guys? What do we need to talk about?
A lot of things.
Stuff.
There's Nintendo Directs. There is a lot. But we got plugs first.
Yes. If you are watching us on Twitch, twitch.tv/MongPlays, thank you for joining us. We have been streaming the podcast on Twitch now for a month and a half. Middle of February, I believe, is when we started, somewhere around there. Right about then, we started going on full-on video for just about everything. So we do weekly video or daily videos now with the news from nowhere and live stream the podcast and stuff. So thank you again. If you are not watching on Twitch, then tune in to Twitch on Tuesdays at around 2:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's when we go live. We go for about an hour and a half or so. And then please follow us there. We appreciate tuning in because we don't only live stream the podcast. We live stream all games, all the new release games and stuff. Like next week, we're going to have Mortal Kombat X on for most of the day. So just games like that. If you want to see any new release games or just me randomly playing Final Fantasy on the weekends, like that's what we do on this channel. Other than that, as we mentioned the past 2 weeks, we're seeking some moderators for our podcast chat. So if you're available around that time, 2:45 Central Standard Time, for an hour and a half, or even for a little bit, and you would be interested in helping us out by tuning in, please let us know, because we have people that tune into the chat and are just assholes. Like a Lulu Striker was an asshole in the chat just a minute ago, and I had to ban his ass. I dropped the ban hammer on him. So if you want to join, then you're more than welcome to, but send us an email at contact.mong@gmail.com if you want to do that. We'll start working out that. And then also, if you do like the podcast, if you're listening to it anywhere on iTunes or YouTube or Twitch or any of the other podcast services, and you know people who might like the podcast, share it with them. Go ahead and tell them about it. We'd love to have more people tuning in each week. We'd love to have more questions sent in to us at our email. We'd love to see the numbers go up and have more interaction with the listeners. We currently have a bunch of really, really good friends that we've made from our listeners. I could name just several of them off the bat: Evan, Josh, Tunde, Muhammad. There's so many people we've met now because they listen to our podcast, and we'd love to meet more of you. So go ahead and share it with anybody who might be interested. Right. And then I wanted to bring up one more thing before we go into what's going on right now. We used to have a writer on our team named Mike, and he had to leave because of a job, because he didn't have enough time anymore to be on the team because we have everybody write at least a story every week and stuff like that to be productive and contributing to the team. And so he got too busy and he had to leave. Well, he's recently come back and
From the dead.
He's come back with a vengeance, and he released a video for us before he was even reintroduced to the team. And the video series is going to be a once-a-month video series. It's called Kind of Dumb. And that's going to be one of his video series. He's working on several of them. He has a lot of cool ideas. But Kind of Dumb is like, he takes a look at popular game series or just game, and he points out some of the outrageous aspects of it and some of the silly points and things like that. And so this month he did Mortal Kombat X, and it's a short 2-minute video up on our YouTube, youtube.com/user/Mong Play or Mong Network. So go ahead and check that out. It's really good. And if you have any cool ideas for him, send it to us, and we'll let him know.
Yeah, I watched it.
You did?
Kind of funny.
Kind of dumb? Huh? No? Okay. Anyway, so what's on everyone's playlist this week?
This week, I'm playing Wolfenstein. Or at least I've been playing Wolfenstein, and I've gotten really lost in Wolfenstein. Great production values. It kind of just missed me last time. And it's part of my I have to play things that were popular a year ago playlist. And then subsequently, I'm going to be working on Borderlands, the Handsome Jack collection, which I just grabbed with my latest paycheck.
Now, are you going to be playing pre-sequel first, or are you going to play 2 or the DLC for 2, or what are you doing?
I am the proponent of playing games in the order they're released. And I don't mind if I had played Borderlands 2 within the last, 2 years.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't play it again, but it's been a while. Plus, I'm taking Audrey through the tour of Wasteland. What is it called there? Pandora.
I was going to say the Borderlands.
Yeah.
Did she get a copy too? Are you guys going to co-op? Or
we're co-oping same screen.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
I'm sure if she likes it, she'll pick up her own copy.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That game is so much better with friends. It's a lot of fun. However, I don't know. You got to really pay attention to the humor. There's so many subtle jokes in the Borderlands series that if you're playing with a friend and you guys are constantly talking or whatever, you miss out on some of those. Which, Miles, did you play Borderlands with a friend or did you play it by yourself?
I played Borderlands 2 with a friend for every 50 time I beat the story mode. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miles, what are you gonna be playing?
I am probably not going to be playing anything because my car is falling apart. So I kind of have to focus on that, and the place it gets repaired is in another city. So I probably won't be home for a few days.
Perfect time for your PlayStation Vita.
Yeah. I really want to play Persona Golden, but the text on the screen just kills my eyes 50 times faster than it should. So
Yeah.
and I don't know. Oh, actually, you know what? I have been playing the Steven Universe game on mobile phones. I know I'm a casual and filthy. It's actually really fun.
What is it? Steven Universe?
Steven Universe is a cartoon show that recently started up. It's the mobile phone game came out 3 days ago. It's called Steven Universe Attack the Light, and of course everyone's like, "Oh, it's a mobile game. It's gonna be crap." It's an RPG, and it actually plays a lot like I think it plays a lot like was it Paper Mario?
Okay.
Yeah.
Where each turn, you have a limited amount of points essentially that you can use to do moves and attacks and whatever. And when you attack, there's it's pretty much like timing, where if you press or tap the screen at the right time, you'll get an extra boost in your damage for the attack.
Yeah.
So it's actually a lot of fun, and it's actually pretty deep. But I don't know. It probably won't get the praise it deserves because it's on mobile. So
Right.
Yeah. I've been playing through Final Fantasy 13, which I brought up last week on PlayStation Now. I put in 10 hours this weekend. Got all the way up to chapter 8, I believe. So I'm quite a bit into the game now. And then I beat Ori and the Blind Forest this weekend finally, after I was finally able to get through the frickin' Ginso tree. Oh my god, I was gonna throw that game.
That digital game.
That was the stupidest fucking sequence in the entire game. And then I went on to beat it and played a bunch of MLB The Show this weekend as well. I'm gonna continue playing that and Final Fantasy. But in my downtime, when I'm not up here playing on my console or whatever, I downloaded Final Fantasy Record Keeper on my phone. Holy crap! Like I'm sort of becoming an addict with mobile games, like those ones where you build up defenses or whatever. Like you build up a city and you have to have cannons and stuff, people to protect it, and then you attack.
Clash of Clans.
Yeah, those type of games. Like I've become an addict to those, but I haven't really explored into any other types of mobile games. And when I saw Final Fantasy Record Keeper came out, I wanted to try it, and it's similar to that in a way. You start out with some ambiguous characters like white mage, black mage, soldier or whatever. And yourself, you make yourself, you're like this little cute looking wizard thing, and you have to restore all the paintings, which the paintings are the records or whatever, and those records are the stories from each of the Final Fantasy games. So there's a set of records for Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it has story, like you go through and you fight the bosses, you fight some of the mob people or whatever, and it's a turn-based battle system, kind of like older Final Fantasy games. And you can unlock weapons from all the different Final Fantasy games. You can unlock actual characters. So like now I have Titus, I have Cloud, I have Yuna, I believe. I have several of the iconic. I have Kain, several of the iconic Final Fantasy characters and weapons, and you can unlock abilities, and you could level up all of these things, but you only have so much stamina, so like you can only play it for so long at a time, which is why it's kind of like Clash of Clans. You can only play it a little bit at a time. You can't just put in hours, and so I could play it for like 20 minutes to an hour, depending on what I'm doing or whatever, and then I take several hours off, and then I'll pick it back up, and then I'll have full stamina again, I'll dive back in, and it is super fun. They have like daily dungeons and stuff with different rewards, like experience or gold or weapons or weapon upgrade stuff, and it's really, really cool, and it's a free-to-play game. So if you guys like Final Fantasy at all, or if you just need a turn-based RPG for your phone, highly recommend it. Lucy, one of our writers, brought up the question on whether or not it would spoil the story for you on all the Final Fantasy games if you haven't played them, and it will if you take the time to read it. There's no like voice acting or whatever, so like it doesn't force you to watch movies or anything, but it'll give you like a paragraph at a time after each dungeon saying what happened next in the story. All you have to do is click the screen and it goes away. So like
every Mickey Mouse in there.
Every time, no. Every time I get to one of those paragraphs, I just immediately click again because I don't really care to read it. I just want to go into the battles and get more loot and upgrade everybody and stuff like that. But yeah, I highly recommend it. It's really fun game.
Okay.
Now, we have, as of 2 weeks ago, we started putting up these trivia questions up at the top. And as of last week, we started addressing the trivia questions right before we get going on the news from nowhere. And so today's trivia question at the top is, what indie games are you most looking forward to in 2015? Miles, you said Severed. Why?
I did say Severed.
Why is Severed your most anticipated indie?
Well, first off, that is the game I got my Vita for. Normally, I don't buy any kind of console or platform for one game, but I saw Severed, and I was like, that's it. That, and I guess Remote Play, even though I never use it, or what is going to sell me the Vita. It's beautiful. It has color, It's not like a gray fest or brown fest like a lot of games are these days. I like the severing system.
It's beautiful. See? It has color.
Yeah. I like colors.
See, the severing system, can you give like a 10-15 second rundown on that? I keep hearing about it, and I haven't actually looked into it. What do you mean?
I can attempt to. Pretty much, it's like if you parry your enemy, I believe, they'll be opened up for a severing, which you can pretty much like swipe the screen, and it'll, of course, sever off a bit of their body.
Yeah.
And also, it has a crafting system, which is another thing I'm a sucker for, because I like building gear and making my character look, awesome. So you pretty much sever off bits and pieces of your enemies, the monsters, and then you take those bits and pieces, and like a sociopath, you build armor skin out of them. So that's how that works.
And this is the Guacamelee team, right?
Yep, same people behind Guacamelee. So that's
Juicebox Studios.
Yep.
Friends of the show.
Indeed.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's why I'm all hyped for that. And it's kind of turn based, so I like turn based.
And does that have any sort of a release date?
I don't believe it does yet, but while someone else is saying their most anticipated, I'll look that up.
All right. Lou, you listed Firewatch as yours. Can you
I did list
explain
Firewatch.
why Firewatch is your most anticipated?
Firewatch looks like a game. It's definitely a game like something I've never seen before, which is really interesting. It takes a realistic-ish story in a kind of fantastical environment, which is, I don't know, actually, where is it? Is it Washington?
I think
State?
so.
Yeah, just I mean, the whole thing. It has a beautiful art style to it. The colors are great, just like Miles said. Love colors.
Love colors.
Besides that, I also listen to the creators of the studio every week on their podcast, Idle Thumbs, and it's fun to listen to them talk about the game. I know that they have a lot of great ideas for video games. They are also creators in games like The Walking Dead, the Telltale's The Walking Dead.
I was going to say, weren't they ex-Telltale exec or people or developers or whatever?
Yeah, Nick Brecken, Steve Gaynor was on it for a while. Jake Rodkin, all those people. If you ever watch The Walking Dead, their names are going to be all over it. The Walking Dead, Telltale's The Walking Dead, even up to season 2. So, yeah, they definitely know how to make great games. And I think that if I'm looking for an indie game with a phenomenal story and some beautiful architecture and all that, that's going to be my game to go to.
Yeah. It's funny because Severed and Firewatch are two games that I keep hearing everyone is so excited about, and those are two of the indie games that I just have not paid attention to for some reason. It's every time one of their trailers came on in a conference, I was busy writing another story, or I've just never had a chance to look into either of those.
Right.
So my most anticipated indie game of 2015 is Rime, and that has been, it's been known about now for 2 years. I believe within like the first month of starting Middle of Nowhere Gaming, I wrote a story, my most anticipated indies, and Rime was on that list. And then I also interviewed their creative director, Raul, and so both of those are up on our website. Rime has it looks like Zelda. It looks like Ocarina of Time, and it looks like Wind Waker, and it's like a silent protagonist exploring a beautiful looking island or whatever, and there's like mystery to it, and it just looks really, really cool. And it was really hard for me though to pick Rime because there are so many cool indie games coming this year. Like, we're leaving out so many by just requiring.
We're leaving out No Man's Sky.
Yeah, we are.
Everybody's gone to the Rapture.
Oh,
change your mind to No Man's Sky.
You can't. No, it's done.
The Tomorrow Children. The Tomorrow Children.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good ones coming, but yeah. So we picked 3 of them. Hopefully they all launch this year and don't get delayed.
Hopefully.
Delay gate.
Can we, before we move on to news from nowhere?
Yeah.
Can we talk about, or can we get the community feedback on possible giveaways?
Oh, yeah. Good idea. Okay, so earlier today, I randomly brought up this idea to Lou. I was like, hey, let's fucking give away some games. And he was like, I'm down. And so I was like, all right, what should we give away? And we came up with a list of, what was it, 6 games that we want to give away.
Yeah,
but
something like 6 or 7.
probably not realistic that we can give all of them away. But we can probably give away 3, probably somewhere, 2 or 3, maybe even 4, depending on which games they are. So we wanted to bring up those games to you guys and let us know which games you would like us to give away, because obviously the games aren't going to us, so like it's what you want. So we're thinking about giving away Mortal Kombat X, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, Shovel Knight, State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition. What's that full name? Something like that. Wolfenstein, the New Blood or Old Blood, the DLC for that, the prequel. The Witcher 3. Yeah, I think that was it. That was all the games that we mentioned for the next month. And so 2 or 3 of those, possibly 4, if you guys are interested in us having a giveaway for any of those. Let us know. You can either, say something in the Twitch chat right now if you're listening right there, or if you're listening on YouTube later, go ahead and leave us a comment there, or you can email us, contact.mong@gmail.com. Very easy. All you got to do is say giveaway or whatever, and just tell us which of those games you might be interested in us giving it away or giving them away. And I know Mortal Kombat X launches next week, but we're going to wait a few days to see what everybody wants, see what everybody thinks, and then we'll get up and going on all of those. So.
Right. And, I mean, it could be like Ori and the Blind Forest. We let everyone know, I think, the day before or during the Twitch stream. We did a midnight release stream, and we got over, 300, I think, people in there trying to get a free copy of Ori and the Blind Forest. So don't worry. If you want Mortal Kombat to be your choice, then we still have plenty of time to pick Mortal Kombat and do a quick giveaway for them.
Yep. So I guess if this becomes a solid thing, if we have the community's feedback, we'll be telling you all how to actually enter in the future.
Yep.
So.
All right. Now, for the news from nowhere.
News from nowhere!
First up, the Freedom Wars producer, oh god, here we go, Junichi Yoshizawa, I think I did that all right. He has left the franchise, if you could even call it a franchise.
Can you? It's only been one game.
One game so far.
Right.
Now, last week we had a story about a possible sequel for Freedom Wars, and not, God, was it 24 hours later he left the franchise? So it's like, whatever. But anyways. He promised that the series is in good hands with associate producer Tokuo Onuma. He's going to be taking over, and a sequel will depend on whether or not fans speak and show strong enough support. He claimed, whether or not we make a sequel cannot be decided, blah, 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 with my intentions alone, but in the end, it's important for players to speak up as we know, or so that we know if demand exists or not. So it's still a possibility, even though the executive producer left. They're just going to fill his shoes. It is a Sony first-party game, so they've got a lot of people who could fill those shoes. So I'm not going to be worried about it.
Do we know which studio he left to? I'd be interested in hearing that.
I'm not even sure he left the studio. The story stated that he left the franchise, and so I was curious as to whether or not he just decided, hey, Shuhei, I'm going to go work on The Last Guardian 2 and not Freedom Wars 2. And Shuhei's like, all right, you do that. Go get that done.
Right.
He could still be Sony first party for all I know. I didn't do any research on that. I wasn't the one who wrote the story. But yeah.
You know what I think? I think he and Kojima are in cahoots, and they're off in the desert working on the next best thing. But in all seriousness, that kind of sucks because they just teased this with like Freedom Wars 2 might be a thing. Now we lost our the big name, the producer. So I mean, hopefully Freedom Wars 2 will still happen though.
Yeah, I'm super hopeful.
Yeah.
But we talked about that a lot last week.
We did.
I still need to play it.
Yeah.
You should.
I bought it. I showed my support, so it's fine. Like, they know I want the game, and yeah, I just got to get to it. There's a lot of games out.
I believe that we could still play together, even though I'm done with the game and stuff. And Miles, you didn't sell the game, right? You still have it?
Yeah, I don't trade in games anymore.
Okay, and Josh also has it. And so whenever you decide to play it, just let us know, and we could totally run some dungeons with you in that game. That'd be fun.
Okay, absolutely.
Jolly stomp the enemy.
Yeah, kick the shit out of the enemy. All right, story number 2.
Right. So a recent grab bag of questions led BioWare devs to answer a fairly interesting and pertinent question, and it was, is there an end plan for Dragon Age in the future? So executive producer Mark Dara, I don't know, stated that they don't have a sunset plan for the Dragon Age franchise at this time. A very beautiful and eloquent way to say that, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I think I wrote this, so I'm pretty sure I said that. However, fans shouldn't be worried that Dragon Age might become annualized or stale. None put it better than the GM, which is General Manager? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, cool. Aaron Flynn. His quote was, "Yeah, I don't know about cranking out as long as they keep selling," which was a part of the original question. "Eventually, these things just get fatigued and need to rest until people are prepared to carry that torch again. By the same token, there's a cycle to entertainment. If you told me 10 years ago that there would be a healthy resurgence of isometric RPGs, such as Pillars of Eternity and Baldur's Gate, I'd have to say that you were crazy. But here we are, and I'm glad I was wrong." So, hey, that's good news, especially since I know someone made the point that it probably won't, Dragon Age probably will never become annualized because, BioWare normally is on that, 2-year cycle, or is it 3-year, with their game releases?
No clue.
Yeah, I don't quite remember, but it's definitely not, I'm pretty sure they don't put out something annually unless you count, what
when
they
was
did
Mass
with...
Effect 3?
Mass Effect 3 was
2012?
Okay, in that case, 3 years ago, but, yeah, unless you count the MMO scene, which they're barely still hanging on to, they don't come out with anything yearly, so I mean, high hopes.
I'm glad that they've said that, there are games where I would not be opposed to ending the series soon, like Assassin's Creed. As much as I do love that series, and I do, the fact that they are yearly and annual release it's tiring after a while. While games like this, Mass Effect and Dragon Age, those games are once every 3 to 4 years or so, and it's a lot like Grand Theft Auto. We only see that once every 5 or 6 years, and when we do, they're awesome games. So
Right.
if they want to keep doing this every 3 or 4 years, maybe even 5 years, take their time and keep releasing it. Go until I die, keep going for my entire life. I will not complain. I'll still play it.
Right.
Definitely.
Speaking of Assassin's Creed, this is a next news story. Are you going to play the 2D ones? Are you excited about those?
From a person who doesn't like Assassin's Creed, they look interesting because they're finally, answering the fans. It's like, we're finally going to go to... No, they're going to China, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, so they're not even going to the birthplace of the ninja. So never mind. I'm not excited for them. Boo on you, Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm kind of upset that we're not getting a mainline game in Japan and stuff like that, and it's doing something like this. And I've never really been a 2.5D player, there are good games that are like that, yeah, of course, but it's just, I don't know. If you're gonna do Assassin's Creed, go all out, make it huge, not these little games. But whatever,
Right.
I'll still play them probably.
That'll probably be the point where I get back in the series. Definitely not for the story because it's convoluted and crazy, if you ask me. But when they put it in Japan, I will play it.
When they put it in Japan. Okay, so before we move on, I was just messaged by somebody on Facebook who said that apparently somebody has stolen our logo. So, and it's on Kickstarter. They're calling themselves Nygaard Productions, and it's our Mong logo.
No way.
And similar font to ours, and it's two kids who are making a Minecraft-like game, and they have no backers, and they're about to run out of time on it, and I'm thinking about messaging them about stealing our logo. So,
Holy,
Put a link somewhere.
my God!
I kind of want to see this because I can't find it.
It's true.
yeah.
There we go. Okay.
So
I'll send them a legal-looking letter.
okay.
Wow,
Scare
yeah,
the
that
shit
is
out of
just-
them.
Wow, that is straight just our logo. They just color changed it a little bit.
Scare the living shit out of them, Lou.
That's really funny.
Okay, so let's move on. Story number 3, Miles.
All right, so story number 3 is, once I get back to the window. All right, so in a bit of unsurprising news, it isn't really surprising, Quantum Break for the Xbox One has been delayed until 2016. I was about to say 15. While initially scheduled to launch sometime later this year, Microsoft head of publishing, Shannon Loftus, issued a statement explaining why the game had been delayed. And I quote, We've got the strongest games lineup in Xbox history right now, with 2015 blockbuster exclusives like Halo 5 Guardian, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Fable Legends. Is that really part of the strongest lineup? And Forza Motorsport 6. Again, is that really part of the strongest lineup? And more will announce in the coming months. With so many games launching this year, moving Quantum Break to 2016 extends our incredible portfolio into next year with a monster new IP.
Okay. They sugarcoated the fuck out of this story, trying to make the fall seem way better than it is.
Mm-hmm.
And while it is a good fall, they have a very good fall coming. And it would have likely Quantum Break would have been lost, in the fold, just like Dying Light. Dying Light would have been lost had it been released in the fall, and it paid off by releasing it in January. It's a really smart move on Microsoft to do this, but that was such a PR announcement, PR reveal, or the delay, saying our fall is just so goddamn good. I'm still questioning whether or not Rise of the Tomb Raider is coming out this year. We still don't really know a whole lot about it. There was a little bit revealed, Game Informer had a thing on it, but it's just we had, for a game that's supposed to be coming this year, we have not seen a lot. At least Halo 5.
Which is how I prefer things.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully it's just a shift of how
totally
they
prefer
release information. But I see your point where that's not the norm. While it should be the norm,
it should be. Yes.
It's not the norm, so it may mean it's in danger.
It's the same reason why I said that Legend of Zelda was going to get delayed and Uncharted 4 was going to get delayed. It's games like that. It's just we really haven't seen a whole lot of these games, so why are they going to come out? And that's the reason I predicted the Order 1886 to get delayed last January. It was the same reason, and so it's just whatever. And then, like Miles said, Fable Legends and Forza Motorsport, really, I know Forza has a following, but to have 1 million players on Forza compared to the probably 15 million who will play a game like Halo, it's just that's not the same,
Right.
It's honestly, you're grasping at straws to try and make this not sound as bad as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Albeit it's not
it's not
monumental.
Bad, yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to sink the console, but it's don't do that. Don't treat your fans like they're stupid. Everyone's really excited for Fable Legends, right? No, I don't want that. You can keep that.
Newly announced free-to-play Fable Legends. It's just come on.
Didn't that get really badly panned after the EB reveal or E3 reveal or whatever?
Yeah, no, there's not a lot of people looking forward to Fable Legends. I know I'm a huge Fable fan, and I don't want it at all. Fable 1, 2, and 3, that's where it's at, but not this stupid multiplayer 4v1 type game. I don't want to play Fable Legends, but it's free, so I'll probably play it a little bit. But still, So it's and Quantum Break also. It's doing that experimental thing where they're gonna have a tie-in with the TV show, was it a digital distributed TV show or something like that on Xbox Live or something like that.
I think so.
So it will interact somehow with the game, and so it'll be interesting to see how all that goes, and that may be what's holding them up. Maybe Quantum Break is ready to go because we've seen a lot of that game. Maybe that's ready, but the TV show part's not. They're trying to figure all that out. I don't know.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, who knows?
Delay him again.
Delay him again. Okay, so switching away from Microsoft news onto some Sony news. Sony has revealed the next 5 games being added to their PlayStation Now library. 5 more out of the, I think 200 or 300 that they already have. The 5 games that are being added this month are Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate, because we need the boobs. Ninja Gaiden Sigma, because we need the ninjas. Uncharted 3, so that it could finish off the trilogy. Super Stardust HD, which I really question why they added this, because while many people, most of the people who will want to play it won't be able to because it's such a Twitch game, that playing that with a possible input lag would really screw you up. And then the 5th game is Hustle Kings, which is a pool game.
Because everyone was demanding Hustle Kings.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to they're trying to go back against Xbox Gold's Pure Pool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Wait, wasn't Pure Pool that they
It was
released?
one of those.
It was another billiards.
They're all
game.
the same.
Yeah. Pure Pool was good. I reviewed it.
You know what this is? April. April's the month of the pool queue. This is the battle of the pool queues. Whoever's as big as wins.
Cue the cues. Anyway.
Now, a question that comes from this. Okay, sorry. There's a little bit more of the story. Let me finish. Additionally, other than these 5 games, the PlayStation Now service will be available on 2015 Sony Blu-ray players in the United States and the 2014 Sony televisions in both the United States and Canada. So as of this month, you'll be able to play PlayStation Now games on Blu-ray players from this year and TVs from last year and this year. So if you have a controller that you can hook into your TV, you could play Uncharted or Super Stardust or Hustle Kings. But anyways, so my question that comes from this is, now that the Uncharted trilogy is on PlayStation Now, are we going to see an HD remastered trilogy come out?
I would kind of hope so. Like if I ever play Uncharted, because I'm still not the biggest fan of the series, it's going to be on the remaster and not on PlayStation Now. Simply because I don't know what my reasoning is, but it won't be playing it on PlayStation now.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen now. I'm going to be honest. I don't think we're going to see a remastered version of all of them because they want to push PlayStation Now. I was wondering the same kind of thing about God of War 1 and 2, and then I went and looked at PlayStation Now, and God of War 1 and 2 is already on there. There's no reason for them to remaster it when I could still just play it on my PlayStation 4.
Yep.
Yeah, I think if they're looking, most of the time they do the remasters because it's they don't have another way of bringing that game over, but so many of these games are already brought over to PlayStation 4 anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think there's going to be a trilogy now. It's just Sony's going to see it as it's already available. You can already play it on your PS4s. Then we don't want to spend the extra resources to do this. It's not even, you can't even use the argument that there are so many PS4 players who haven't played the trilogy, because you could play it if you use PlayStation Now. It's like, and it's not like the games look horrible. They still look okay, and they're not gonna get a whole lot better being remastered because they were all developed by first party on PlayStation 3. So they're all okay looking, There's a difference between each one, but whatever. And I don't see Naughty Dog taking the time to do this either. They're moving on. So, all right.
Moving on. 2 more
Sony news. You ready? Sony Computer Entertainment has purchased the remaining patents and assets to the online game streaming service OnLive. You remember that service?
I was going to get that.
I remember when it was first announced, and I was like, this looks awesome. And then I heard it was really bad. And I was like, never mind. So,
was it bad? I didn't hear bad things about it.
I'm in Kansas, so we didn't have a lot of good internet,
Yeah.
So that may have been why most people I know who tried it didn't have a good experience with it, but whatever. So anyways, the service is set to shut down on April 30th. Sony's acquisition of these remaining OnLive assets is the final nail in the coffin of the game streaming service that hung around but never could truly get off the ground. OnLive was one of the first players in online game streaming, but it was seemingly released before its time and accrued over $30 million in debt before being bought out by a venture capital firm in 2012. Just as recently as 2014, they were giving enterprise cloud services another go. As of the 30th of this month, online servers will be taken offline and the company will stop collecting monthly subscription fees. All player data will be deleted, though any games that were purchased through Steam will still be accessible on that platform. So yeah, if you bought a game on your computer for online or whatever, it's going to be gone unless you bought it through Steam and then played it through that service.
That is incredible.
That's horrible.
And that goes towards I'm actually writing this down now because I wrote my whole legal dissertation. I haven't submitted it yet, but on this exactly. What happens when the servers are shut down?
Oh, man.
And this is what happens until we hear, until that changes or until someone brings up a major point, and servers are going to continue to get shut down, unfortunately.
True.
all of our PlayStation Plus games aren't going to last forever. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
They're
Despite the fact that we may have a title over them.
yeah.
I'm actually curious just to know how many people are still using this service by the end. Like, was it I'm assuming it was like 30.
Yeah, I assume it was not very large. I would bet in the hundreds or a few thousand or something like that. Not enough to make profit. No,
Right.
like there's just no way they're making profit. And I brought up the point that Sony could have bought this out to corner the market, basically make sure that Microsoft or Nintendo or Amazon or some other company didn't buy them up and start doing their own like PlayStation Now like service. And it was then I got questioned about whether or not it would be what's it called?
Monopoly.
Well, yeah, essentially a monopoly. But I don't think that was. I don't know. Do you think that was the reason that they wouldn't want anybody else using it, or do you think because my other idea was maybe they were buying all this, or maybe they wanted to buy it out so that they could use their technology.
That's what I was thinking.
Something to add to make.
That's not the. I think that's the more non-pessimistic way to look at things.
To improve PlayStation Now.
Right, and it's clearly the most likely because they've been doing this for a while. Sure, there might. I think that they're not. OnLive isn't the only streaming service left, right? There's got to be others.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that OnLive is just one of the more prolific ones. It has probably some of the largest server space. And ways for Sony to move in. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that this, if we're looking at positively, and we should, this is just Sony branching out and trying to grow PlayStation Now, and they do need to grow it.
Yep.
Honestly, like it's just pure Darwinism if you think about it in the positive light.
Mm-hmm.
The strong survive. Sony's essentially the bigger beast has come around to the barely alive carcass of OnLive, eating it, becoming bigger. I mean,
eating it.
That's what they're doing. They're like, our money is our teeth, and we're sinking one into you every dollar we give you for the service. So
yeah,
right.
Alrighty, moving on.
Next story.
Yeah, I think that's me. Yep. That is me. Okay, so Crytek was facing financial trouble last year, like serious financial trouble. So think about that, and then think about it again because it was really serious.
Horrible trouble. Yeah.
Horrible, yeah. And it looks like Amazon might have saved them. So Kotaku received some information that that unnamed sources from unnamed sources that Amazon has spent a significant amount of money on Crytek's CryEngine 3. The actual amount of money is unclear, but 50 million and 70 million were dropped by two different sources. So it might be somewhere between that. Who knows? The reason for the deal can be linked back to Crytek's troubles last year. As we mentioned, the company started bleeding money, and it got so bad that it could not pay many of its employees. That's how serious it got. In March, about a year after the incident, it was reported that Crytek had entered an agreement with a big company. Was he the co-founder, CEO? I forget the gentleman's placing in the company, but he said it was the biggest one. So. The biggest one deal.
The biggest.
Yeah. While neither companies have confirmed this piece of news, it looks like it might be true. Again, who knows? It's speculation at the moment. Amazon has slowly begun getting into the gaming space. Double Helix, developer of Killer Instinct, the reboot, was purchased by them recently. They have also recently founded a first-party gaming studio that primarily makes games for the Fire TV and other Android devices, and the licensing deal could be the start of something bigger. And I know some people were theorizing that it could be that Amazon is trying to, again, be the bigger beast, cannibalize what CryEngine has, and use CryEngine to make their own proprietary engine. There we go. Words.
Right. Make an Amazon engine. Yeah. I was one of the things that came up, or one of the things that I was thinking about when this story broke was why would you buy or make this deal when you could just use something like Unity? Because isn't the new Unity 4 or something like that free?
Yeah.
I think so, because all Unity's been free as far as I know.
Maybe there's some stipulation in that deal that I'm not aware of that just it makes that a bad deal for a big company like Amazon. I have no idea. I don't know the logistics to it all, but it just I found that really interesting that Amazon would go out of their way and pay $50-70 million for this when there was a free engine on the market.
Well, maybe they. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sure they're buying it to license it out to other people because despite the fact Unity's out there and it's been there, people still go out there and use CryEngine.
Yeah.
A lot of places. And that's each game that comes out, that's more licensing money to now Amazon, who now holds those licenses. And, maybe it'll pay back a lot. I'm not sure. It certainly wasn't keeping Crytek afloat.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they see something in it. I don't think it's to make their own games. I think it's more to just have a continued source of revenue.
Now, I know the deal was strictly, the rumored deal was strictly for CryEngine, but maybe another thing is that they're trying to get, maybe they get some kind of experience with it as well. Like maybe some of the people from Crytek will be helping them with it.
Yeah.
Because that would be a big boon if they're trying to actually develop their own engine, to have people who put out the engine that made Crysis like one of the most beautiful games of its era.
Time,
Yeah. So that could be like I said, big boon. Get those people that already knew what they were doing to come in, be like, okay, we're going to take our engine, make it better for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. It's going to be an interesting story to follow because they could be, all rumors or whatever. Everything's looking like Amazon's going to have their own either games coming out on every platform, or they're going to have their own real full home console platform or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see if they start using that in all of those games, or if they're going to start developing mobile games or just games for their Kindle and stuff like that, Fire TV or whatever. It's can you imagine a beautiful looking game on all those? Something that looks better than our PS4 and Xbox One games, and damn it, Amazon, now I'm going to get a Fire TV. Just so I can play Clash of Clans.
Imagine, Jesus.
Alrighty. But it is good to know Crytek is doing okay because of this. Now, I don't think Crytek in general was doing as bad. I thought it was more specific studios, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think it was Crytek UK.
Yeah, Crytek UK did have problems. They were the ones who weren't paying their employees, but Crytek UK doesn't own CryEngine 3, and so that's where I'm kind of confused at all of this, how it all pieces together. But whatever.
Right.
Now, onto a studio I know and love, and it's not Amazon or Double Helix.
Can Amazon even be considered a studio just yet?
Maybe.
Not
yet.
No.
Are there any games just developed by Amazon? Do we know that?
No. Not as far as I know, but that might actually have happened. I just have no clue.
All right. So, that studio I was talking about, Level 5. Yes. Level 5, known for games like Ni no Kuni, Rogue Galaxy, White Knight Chronicles, Dark Cloud, Yokai Watch more recently. Let's see, there's another few more 3DS series.
Fantasy Life?
Fantasy Life. Which that's a new one. I was talking about series though,
Oh, okay.
I think Inazuma 7 or something. I don't even remember. They have a whole lot of really good series. They had a conference called the Level 5 Vision 2015 conference this morning, in which they revealed a shitload of information about new games coming out. Some of the highlights from this conference pertain to Yokai Watch and Fantasy Life. Fantasy Life 2 has been officially announced. Except it's going to be on mobile phones. Yeah.
It's probably a good platform for it.
Yeah, I looked at some of the screenshots, and it looks just like Fantasy Life, just on mobile, And you could play. It's going to have 4-player multiplayer, and it's going to have all of the classes, the lives or whatever you could play in the game, all that stuff. That's all going to be included on this mobile game. Level 5 is then partnering with Hasbro to bring the Yokai Watch franchise to the U.S. in 2016. So that is toys. They're bringing all the Yokai Watch toy series over here in 2016. And then Yokai Watch Busters will be released on 3DS in Japan on November 7th, which is another Yokai Watch game. A spin-off of the Yokai Watch series will be made in collaboration with Koei Tecmo. It will be a crossover with the Three Kingdoms series. No platform or release date has been announced. That's really interesting. You know about Three Kingdoms? All that? You know Koei Tecmo, right? Like they do the
Yes.
big real-time strategy games or whatever,
Right.
Dynasty Warriors and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you imagine that mixed with Yokai Watch. Like,
it's got to be interesting.
We'll
I don't
see.
know if it's a game for me,
Yeah.
but it'll be interesting.
we'll see. And then 3 more Yokai Watch games are going to be coming to mobile. There's going to be a puzzle game called Yokai Watch Puni Puni, an app, the Great Yokai Dictionary, and a rhythm game called Yokai Watch Great Rhythm. So
Oh my god. It sounds like they're just giving up.
it's
We'll just
Japan.
try everything.
It's Japan. Throw everything on mobile. And then Yokai Watch 3 was also announced, and it's going to be coming to 3DS. It's going to be set in the United States, and it will be a classic Yokai Watch JRPG, but no release date has been announced for that. And then not only are the toys coming over here, but the anime is also coming over to the US, and so is the game. Yokai Watch has officially been announced for 3DS in the United States and Europe, and it will be coming out within the next year. So everybody who's been waiting for Yokai Watch, it's finally fucking coming. If you don't know what Yokai Watch is, it's kind of like a Pokemon clone. It's about a little kid, and it's basically only kids can see the yokai, which are ghosts in Japan, and these ghosts are responsible for basically everything that happens in the world.
Is it more Pokemon-y than Ni no Kuni?
I don't know. It's hard to compare them. But the ghosts or whatever, the yokai, are responsible for everything in the world. So, like, if there's somebody who's depressed, the yokai is the bad yokai is what made this kid depressed, or this old man depressed. If something fell off a shelf, there's a yokai that did that. If there's a storm, there's like everything that happens is responsible because of these ghosts, or the ghosts are responsible for them. And so it's just it's an interesting Pokemon-like series that just has exploded in Japan. It is like the most popular thing. Everybody I hear who goes over to Japan right now, like for conferences and things like that, or just meetings and things with companies, all they can talk about every window has Yokai Watch stuff, and so it's just like, that's pretty awesome. I'm excited to see it come over here.
I will test it out. If it's the new Pokemon, I'll give it a try. I'm clearly trying out Amiibo, and that's like the new Pokemon.
Now, 2 things. I'm going to interject right quick. 1, where's your Amiibo army, Lou?
Yeah.
You have failed the nation, Lou.
I decided to wear the suit instead of bringing the army. I'm going to use my Amiibo army, and we're going to strike down the Kickstart bandits.
Okay. That's fine, then. Make your nation proud.
They're prepping right now. They're readying the army.
Point 2. Amazon Game Studios is a legit studio, actually. I know I'm rewinding quite a bit, but I looked into it. They have made 6 games already.
Oh, fuck.
Like, not like big AAA titles that are on consoles, but they have made 6 games.
All for or all for Fire TV?
Looks like it's a mixture of Fire TV, tablets, iPhone, iPad, etc., etc.
Okay.
So, some of them actually look legit, though, so, I'm sorry for saying you weren't crap, Amazon Game Studios.
Alrighty, moving on.
I'm finally going to say a story. It's been 8, and I have been silent. Anyway, there was a Nintendo Direct.
What?
Do you guys know about this?
You mean
Yes.
it happened?
It did happen. We've already talked about this. Not we, in we, but us on the at MONG.com. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about it on the QuickTime event. We went through literally every story, and it was really, really quick. And we touched on everything.
Yep.
We're going to do the same thing again right now, kind of. We picked out the highlights, and I'm just going to gauge Courtney's reactions and Miles' dissatisfaction with all of these.
I'll do thumbs up or thumbs down.
Now, were any of our predictions, did they come true?
What were the predictions?
We predicted Pokemon on Wii U.
No.
We predicted Metroid on Wii U.
No.
We predicted What was the other one?
Oh, for my legitimate one, I predicted Star Fox. No.
So nothing we wanted actually happened.
No, the stuff that we didn't want happened, where I said they're absolutely going to talk Yoshi's Woolly World, and they did.
Yeah.
But, all right, so first thing on the list, Smash Bros. DLC.
Yep.
They announced Mewtwo. All that shiz, that's great. Mewtwo's coming. Besides Mewtwo, we got Lucas. And I don't know if you guys play as Lucas at all.
No.
No, don't care.
They mentioned that there's going to be an update, that the new line of Amiibo is coming, and the new line of Amiibo is already gone. It is now an eBay exclusive.
Oh, jeez.
Let's see. They gave the details about Amiibo. You know, how they've announced that the Amiibo, you'll be able to tap them and play highlights of certain games.
Yeah. That was already announced. That
was announced.
Yeah.
When they announced that, did you originally think that if you tapped a Samus thing, you'd be able to play a bit of Metroid?
Yeah. That's
not how that works.
Huh.
Yeah, apparently it's going to be like a box of chocolates, so says Satoru Iwata, because he loves Forrest Gump. And how it's going to work is each Amiibo is randomly selected with Virtual Console games. So
that's fucking stupid.
That's ridiculous, and whatever. I don't really care. It makes me angry to think about it.
Yeah,
but whatever.
That upsets the hell out of me.
Mario Maker got a delay. While a lot of people aren't calling it a delay, they originally announced it was going to come early 2015. It is now coming in September. I think the same with Yoshi's Woolly World. I think that got pushed to fall. Mm-hmm. I might be switching that up. It might be Yoshi's Woolly World September, Mario Maker fall. Either way, they showed that. One of the more interesting ones. Yoshi's Woolly World has an amiibo. The amiibo is a yarn knit amiibo.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you see the picture?
Yep. When that was announced, you lost your shit, Sean lost his shit, and I lost my shit. But I lost my shit for a completely different reason than you guys did.
Why did you lose your shit?
I lost my shit because I was like, fucking Nintendo. Like, this is how far you're going to go. Like, the market, to me, as somebody who still doesn't own an amiibo, it's oversaturated now. There are just so many goddamn amiibo coming. There are going to be like hundreds of them, just like Pokemon. And it's like,
well, how many do you think are out there now? Give a guesstimate.
Available right now, I would say 36 or so, maybe 24.
There are exactly 36.
Yeah, see, I was going to say something like that. And there's what, another 36 already announced? Something like that already coming?
I wouldn't go that far, but
it's like 4 or 5 at a time for each wave, and it's just like, and they're continually coming and continually announcing it. Every Nintendo Direct, more are announced. And
right.
It's, oh.
There was a great Polygon article yesterday saying that that Nintendo needs to just crush or deflate the amiibo bubble.
Yeah.
While they have the chance, which is 100% true. Or they need to find a way to manage it better, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is the Yoshi amiibo actually like have wool knit on it?
Yep.
Yes. It looks, well, as far as it looks, I don't know, I haven't touched it. None of us have touched it. But when you look at it, it looks like a plushie, except made out of yarn of sorts.
Yeah, it does look like a plushie. I don't know.
This is my judgmental look.
Now,
if anyone wants, or if anyone's there in the chat, can you post a link to the photo and Miles will click on it?
Oh, I have the photo. I just I can't tell. It looks because it looks like it isn't, but then again, I'm like, I don't have many knit items, so it could actually be knit. I don't know.
Right.
So I explained why I lost my shit, but Lou, you want to explain why you and Sean lost your shit?
This isn't, our collective shits. There's a lot of amiibo I like, and there's a lot of amiibo I don't want. The Splatoon amiibo, which I'm going to get to, are amiibo that I don't want. I'm not a big fan of Yoshi, but I saw these and I'm like, those look so fucking adorable. I want them. I'm going to get all 3 of them. I don't care about that game, but those look great. Like, if I saw that in a GameStop or I saw that at Nintendo World Store, I'd probably pick those up without knowing they're amiibo. I think those are phenomenal. And I like the idea that they're branching out of what an amiibo is.
Okay.
But yeah, clearly you guys will disagree. As a collector, I'm happy about it. I want it. I was talking to people who aren't amiibo collectors, and they said I'm not going to get an amiibo, but I will maybe get that one, not because of its amiibo, but because I like it.
What day was the? It was Wednesday, wasn't it, when the direct happened?
Yeah.
And was that April Fool's Day, or was that the day after?
That was April Fool's Day.
It was April Fool's Day. Okay.
We were expecting them all to just say, "Oh, and by the way, this whole direct is a bunch of shit." Have a nice day.
That would be hilarious and like completely wreck Nintendo's credibility for a little bit, but still.
Yeah.
I was trying to go back in our general chat, and the MONG general chat on Facebook, for those who aren't aware, and I wanted to find your guys' reactions and read them because they were just hilarious to see.
All right.
And I tried to do the search for it, and I found the right day and everything, but it was just so far back. You guys were messaging like
I can
crazy.
I can tell you exactly when it is. April 1st. It's going to be 6 p.m. for us, 5 p.m. for you.
Yeah, that's when it started, but you guys were talking during the entire conference.
And it should have been, because I actually have the minute it was in, so it should have been 12 minutes in, so 5:12-ish, or 5:13 for you.
All right.
You want me to go on while you find this?
Your response was... Okay, first it started with Sean. All caps. Yarn Yoshi amiibo, I want so much right now. Your response was, what? All caps. Oh my god. And then your next response, I fucking need it, in all caps. And then Sean, 3 of them, in all caps. And then yours, in all caps. That you just became a must buy. Fuck them. I'm going to buy them all. And then Sean's response, save one for me. Save them all for me. I was just like sitting here watching this go down like, oh my god. they're on the team.
But thankfully it was only that amiibo announcement that we went crazy for.
Yeah.
When they announced Splatoon, the Splatoon amiibo, no one cares. And we all really feel like if we bought it, which some of us did, me included, that was a dark day.
Yeah.
That was a very dark day.
Before we move on from amiibo talk, which we need to, Jason asked a question, and only you would be able to answer this. He asked, do you buy amiibos of characters you have no interest in? If so, why?
I do. I buy amiibos that I have no interest in because for me, it's a nice display thing and it's a collecting thing. Like if I have... Which I do. Like I like a lot of Nintendo characters. I'm going to say I like the vast majority, and I've had good memories with nearly every franchise.
Yeah.
So there's 36 out, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say right now there might be 3 that I don't have fond feelings for. King DDD maybe, Wii Fit Trainer, and Villager. Like I don't care about those. But it's really shitty to have 33 amiibo and just be missing those last 3. Like that makes me feel like an ass.
Yeah. You have Marth?
Actually no. I have it waiting in Switzerland for me.
Yeah, Marth that's one of those rare ones.
And that's going to be restocked.
Yep. Yeah. Soon, right? This month, right? Or is that June?
They said so, but I
don't remember when they said it was
possible.
Anyways, let's move on. More Nintendo news.
Okay, so Splatoon announcements. They got new modes, Splatoon Amiibo, which are either in the boy Splatoon Amiibo, the girl Splatoon Amiibo, or you could get the 3-pack, which is the boy, girl, and the squid. And the only way to get the squid is to get the 3-pack. And I know Amiibo collectors that are so crazy, they get 2 of each. And they also, so they got 2 of the 3-pack, and also 2 of the boy and 2 of the girl. So I'm not on that level. Afterwards, Nintendo 64 and Nintendo DS is going to be coming to the Wii U Virtual Console. This apparently has happened in the UK, so it's not big news there, but it's big news over in the US.
Yeah, that story actually follows up the student-made project of Nintendo 64 in Unity where it was HD, up-res, and everything like that. That was brought down by Nintendo almost 24 hours before this announcement came, which with the announcement was that Super Mario 64 is now available on Wii U. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Following that, they showed the trailer, finally showed the trailer for Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. And it featured one of the worst J-pop songs in existence. Yeah, it was. If you have the time, go check it out. We didn't know what they were showing at first. It seemed kind of Persona-ish, seemed kind of Shin Megami Tensei. I didn't really catch the Fire Emblem, but now, like, going back, I could see it with the Pegasus and the characters, and it looks beautiful. I just don't know what game it is. I don't know how it's going to play, and hopefully that music isn't prevalent throughout. More news. And I'm skipping out on some news. There's Street Pass announcements. No one cares. But Attack on Titan, Humanity in Chains, 3DS coming to the U.S.
What? I'm super excited for this because I'm a huge Attack on Titan fan. So like it'll be awesome to finally be able to play an Attack on Titan game. The only part of this story that I'm super upset, I don't even know if I could say upset. I'm maybe more indifferent, is the fact that it is coming to 3DS. You know, just like if you're gonna make a fucking Attack on Titan game,
well, it's already been made.
I know.
Just porting it.
I remember when it was announced originally, when it was first released in Japan and everything. It's this indifference has lasted since that announcement. It's just like, why not make it better and put it on Vita or PS4 or consoles or Wii U even? Why 3DS? Damn it! And
also to back up their love of Attack on Titan, apparently the first 2 episodes are going to be available on the eShop if you want to watch them.
Yeah.
So go ahead if you've never seen them. It's a great series and one of the very few anime series that I've seen.
It's crazy.
More codename Steam. It's having an update to fix some of the major issues. In the UK, they're just not mentioning the update because it never came out, so they're going to pretend it was perfect to begin with. And there's tournaments coming if you really like it. There was news on Xenoblade Chronicles 3D. Nothing we really need to talk about, but you could always check out the trailer. There was the new Fire Emblem, which was previously mentioned. They showed the trailers for that. Mm-hmm. That's really awesome.
And that's the unannounced or the untitled 3DS Fire Emblem game, right?
And it looks awesome.
And it has 2 stories, right? You could play 2 different sides of a story.
Exactly. It's one of those situations, I think, where you were born into one clan but raised by another clan, and one of them's the dark side and one of them's the light side, and you get to choose. Mm-hmm. And they're completely different storylines. And this came out, and the news was fantastic. Everyone was happy about it because that's how they made it sound, was you just choose and you get to play 2 different storylines in one game. News got a little dreary, though. Coming from Japan, apparently they're taking the Pokemon approach there.
I was going to say that. Okay, I'm glad you bring it up. Go ahead.
Okay, so apparently over there, it's going to be like 2 separate games.
Yep.
You're going to have the Dark Kingdom and the Light Kingdom, and if you buy it digitally, it sounds like you could just buy the expansion, but apparently up to Chapter 5, everything out of however many chapters, all the games are the same. Then you make the decision, and if you bought it physical, it goes with whatever decision that is, and if you bought it digitally, you make the decision, and then you can do the other decision later on at an additional $19.99 or something.
Now, like, I think it's fantastic that we're getting it as a combined game where you get a choice.
We don't know.
Wait, I thought that was how it was announced for the U.S. Or maybe
that's how it was. That's how they pitched it.
Okay, so then
but
it's questionable. Then
right, exactly. That's the thing, is we haven't gotten a clarification on how they're, because maybe it is just because Fire Emblem's crazy over there. Maybe they know they can milk the Japanese.
Okay.
And it's their business model, it's their prerogative. But how it was pitched to us was in a similar way, like you would pick a story in most modern games, where they're both in one game. And hopefully that's the case. But how it was worded, if you go back, you don't really know. It's not very clear.
Okay. Moving on.
Animal Crossing, Happy Home Designer, and Amiibo cards. No one cares about the game. because no one really plays Animal Crossing for the sole purpose of making the home and making the home for other people, clearly. But Amiibo cards is interesting. It shows that now they have a way to put NFC readers into the cards. It's hopefully a cheap method. They didn't give any details about how they're distributing these cards, if it's going to be a random pack sort of thing, if you could buy one at a time. No one knows. But this might be a good way to solve the Amiibo bubble that we've been talking about.
Yep. I've always been for the cards, so.
Right. Yeah, like, you know, I am someone who buys it for functionality. It's almost impossible to get a villager, for instance, like $100. So I don't really care. I'd be totally fine with just a card for the villager. Moving on. They talked about the Mario Kart 8 Animal Crossing DLC. I think it's dropping April 27th, so at the end of the month. All of that we knew. There's also going to be additional Mario Kart 8 racing suits. Fantastic, whatever. Big news. They're adding 200cc mode.
What? What is 200cc? What is that?
All right, well, since the dawn of time, and by the dawn of time, I mean measured by standards of Mario Kart, since the first Mario Kart, there's been 50cc, which is easy mode, 100cc, a bit faster, intermediate, and 150cc, which is generally the difficult mode. Now, 200cc is here. Super fast. You have to, like, slam on the brakes. You have to know every curve of the road. It is supposedly a completely new way to play Mario Kart. And not only that, while all these other Animal Crossing and Legend of Zelda DLCs cost money, this one's free. Free update to anyone with Mario Kart.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not a very good player. I'm not a very good Mario Karter. I typically play on 100cc. That's the middle one, right?
That is the middle one.
Okay, yeah. I typically play on 100cc, and that's normally good competition for me. I could get first place most of the time, but there are still some matches or races where I come in at like 11th or whatever, where some bad shit goes down on the final lap, and I just get wrecked over and over, and I can never make up the time, you know?
Right.
So 200cc is going to definitely be hard for me. But wasn't there some sort of... Was it just you guys talking about it, or was this actually related to it? But I thought there was something about F-Zero mentioned. Was it just you guys joking about it?
I think there's an F-Zero track. There might already be one. So we were talking, because that already has a ton of speed boosts. So we were talking about how crazy it would be to play the F-Zero track on 200cc, because it's speed boost on speed boost.
Okay. Yeah, that would be cool. I played F-Zero a lot growing up. That was one of my favorite games. And I didn't even understand it. So.
Right. All right.
Wasn't very good at it either. One more story.
Also, if you want the full rundown, we have most of those stories on Middle of Nowhere Gaming. If you want to hear everyone's reaction to every story from the Nintendo fan base, check out the QuickTime event where we did that. So moving on to the last story. CD Projekt Red announced 2 paid expansions for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
What?
The 2 expansions will add about 30 extra hours to the Witcher experience. There's currently an expansion pass, I think season pass, for sale, but Project Red urges people to wait on buying if they've got any concern. Hearts of Stone is the first and will release sometime in October 2015 and is anticipated to hold about 10 hours of content. This expansion will take place in the wilds of No Man's Land, not to be confused with No Man's Sky. Blood and Wine is the second expansion and is slated for the release in Q1 2016 and will take place in the new region of Toussaint. I don't know.
Probably Toussaint.
Toussaint. As expected, it's planned to have 20 hours of content. Co-founder Marcin Iwinski had this to say: while we're offering the expansion pass now, we want to make one thing clear. Don't buy it if you have any doubts. Wait for reviews or play The Witcher and see if you like it first. As always, it's your call. Pricing is as follows. Hearts of Stone will be $9.99, Blood and Wine will be $19.99, and the expansion pass will be $24.99. The game plus the expansion pass is going to be $84.99 on the PlayStation 4 and $79.99 on PC. However, if you buy digitally on the PS4, it'll be something less like that because you get a 10% discount on buying the game.
So, this is just one more example of what we repeatedly talk about on this podcast, how CD Projekt Red is a fucking rock star in the industry right now. They are the company to model yourself after. They are using the policies that all companies should, and they're saying the right things all the time. You know,
Right.
We want to give away free DLC because it didn't take us very long. You know, it's like it's going to be free. We're going to release paid DLC, but don't buy it day one if you have any doubts. Wait, go ahead. You know, listen to the reviews. We're going to tell you that right now before the game even fucking comes out. You know, it's just like time after time after time they've come out and just they're doing what no other development studio has ever done. It's crazy.
Yeah, but on the other end, I mean, they are one of the very few companies with the liberty that they can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the name recognition. Everyone wants The Witcher. Everyone knows that The Witcher is most likely going to be fantastic. Mm-hmm. So, like, they can afford to take this stance. And it's certainly working out for the best because they're regarded, like you mentioned, as the studio for the gamers, for the players, the ones who won't mind if you pirate something or won't mind if you wait to buy their game.
Yep. It's awesome. And it's not even, you said they have name recognition, but they didn't have name recognition prior to the Witcher 3 reveal. While The Witcher 2 was a highly reviewed game, and it was PC and Xbox 360 exclusive, and it didn't reach the mass audience, you know, it's a very hardcore RPG. It's a very tough RPG, and a lot of casual gamers, normal everyday gamers who've played it couldn't get into it because of the difficulty and because it had too many RPG elements for some people.
Right.
But when The Witcher 3 came out, its reveal and continued reveals and trailers and stuff like that at every single conference for the past 2 or 3 years. Like, they've built into that name, like, without even releasing the game with that name. You know, like, the name recognition is because of The Witcher 3. It's not because of any game before that. So
right.
It's an incredible thing to watch what they're doing right now.
Right. Miles?
I'm still on the fence about The Witcher because I think I played the first one and the combat was kind of atrocious in my opinion. I respect
it.
Okay, I respect that people liked it, but I don't know. I found it ridiculous. But I think I need to get my hands on The Witcher 2 for less than normal prices before I can solidly decide if I want to spend $60 in The Witcher 3. You know, so I can get a feel for the controls and everything.
Do you know what they should do?
They're going to be different, though. So.
Yeah. I really hope that they release a demo because we haven't seen a lot of demos lately, especially on next gen. And they seem like the game company that would manage to put out a short demo, and I think that would ease a lot of people's fears about the game.
Personally, I mean, this is not really pertaining strictly to Witcher. I feel like more demos should come out because, like, now that I'm adult and I'm paying $60 for my games, I'm like, The thing that's stopping me from buying your game is literally I don't know what the buttons I'm going to be pressing are, and I don't know what order I'm going to be pressing them in. So I don't want to buy this for $60 because I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. So it's like, demos are a good thing. Companies, bring the demos back.
I'm going to continue to be the champion of GameFly. You know, you keep buying these digital games and then not liking them. It's just you're losing out on money when you could be spending $15 for a full month of beating as many games as fast as you can or keeping one game for the entire month. You know, it's like you could test out games like Bloodborne and figure out you didn't like it and then send it back, and that $15 that you spent that month, since you only spent 3 days with Bloodborne, the other 27 or 28 days you could spend with 4 or 5 more games that you could try out. You know, like I love GameFly for that reason.
Now, in my defense, young man, I beat a boss in Bloodborne on Saturday night. Father Gascoigne fell at my hands.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. But
did you use the music box?
Yes, I did once or twice, and then Kurt walled him to death. But yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, I do.
Yeah.
I do need an avenue for testing out games, but
it's the we're getting farther and farther away from demos being available for every game, and it's just with the prices on games and the fact that the market's still not testing different prices. They're still not playing with the whole what if a game could be $39.99. It's not often enough that we see that it's just I can't recommend people spend $59.99 on every game, especially if you're unsure about it. Even if a review is going to give The Witcher 3 a 9 or above on every website, somebody, for say Lou, for instance, Lou may pick up that game and not enjoy it and be like, I don't see how this is a 9, and he wasted $59.99 on that. It's just because every website. It's just I don't know. It's stupid, and I very much a proponent of renting games, of using sources like GameFly or Redbox. If you need to find out about the game, then go rent it. Do that before you buy it, and if you really love it, then buy it. And as per what you were saying earlier about playing The Witcher 2 to see how you would like it, The Witcher 3 is much more streamlined. It's going to be more of a typical RPG. It's going to be closer to something like Skyrim than it was The Witcher 1. So it's going to be much easier, much more console based, because it's being developed for consoles first and then also on PC instead of PC and then maybe consoles. So it's it's going to be a lot easier of a game. It's still going to be difficult. It's still going to have some really RPG stuff, but it's so much different than the games previous to it. Each game they've changed a lot of stuff. So but that wrapping up our news from nowhere.
Yeah.
News from nowhere is done.
So the 30 hours of content those expansion packs only add on to the 200 hours you're going to spend playing the game. What's 30 hours when you play a game for 200, right? Okay.
Right. I love that they call it expansion.
Yeah, that was interesting. Not just DLC. I'm wondering if that's their way of differentiating that from the free DLC.
Probably.
I'm sure it is. And expansion is an old term. Mm-hmm. And it always used to mean that this is a substantial piece that you need to buy.
And it's a very computer game term, because MMOs and games like that always get expansions. They don't call those DLC.
Right.
I really wish they would come back too.
Yeah. All right. So listener questions. We do this every week after the News from Nowhere segment. If you want to email us a question, you're more than welcome to. We typically will take those emails and immediately put them on the outline so we have them for the next episode of the podcast. However, if you don't want to email us, you can come into the Twitch stream and leave questions there, or you could leave them on our YouTube videos or anywhere. Basically, just say that it's for the Mong podcast. But if you do want to email us, our email address is contact.mong@gmail.com. We did get one good question in this week from Tunde, our faithful listener from Canada. His question is, what games did you buy or rent based on nothing but box art? Mine are Orphan, Dark Cloud, and Virtual Fighter 4 on PS2.
Not yours.
No, those are Tunde's.
Yeah.
Pronounced Tunde.
Long time joke. I can't.
I have one.
Okay.
We'll jump right into it. And this goes back to the time before I knew games media, of course. I just was a kid. I had a PlayStation, wanted an N64, but my mom doesn't know what a Nintendo is, so what the hell ever. I have a PlayStation now, and I'm looking at my games and trying to figure out what I want. I looked and I saw a snowy scenery, guy with a giant sword, standing outside this big machine, and I thought, that is the game I want to play. I didn't know what it was. Never heard of it. Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was a dense game. I was such a kid that I printed out the walkthrough for it.
Oh, God. I used to do that, too. Oh.
Like, my parents wondered where the entire ink cartridge went. Back then, ink was like $200. I don't know. But, I printed out 250 pages of walkthrough for Final Fantasy VII.
That's crazy.
And it was a great game. I'm glad I judged on the box art. There's other awful games, most likely, in that list, but that's the one time I remember it panned out.
Oh, I do have one, actually. I take it back. I've told this story on the podcast a few times, but it has been a while. The one game that I can remember doing this for was Tales of Vesperia on Xbox 360. The story is that when I first moved up to Lawrence to start going to KU, I didn't have a job, and so when I wasn't in class and not doing homework, all my free time was spent just catching up on games that I had missed over the past 4 or 5 years. Because high school I was busy doing sports and everything else. So after catching up on several games, like I had been doing this for probably 4 or 5 months. Every time I had gone into our local Family Video, there was this Xbox 360 game that had an anime cover, and it had a weird-ass name that I'd never heard of, and I just kept seeing it every single time. And I was like, man, what is this game? It's probably crap. It has anime on it, like, that's going to be stupid. Anime games can't be good. And so I just continually put it off over and over and over. And finally one day I was just, I don't know, in the mood or something. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna rent this game and see what it's like, and fell in love with it. And now the Tales series is my most beloved series. It's my favorite series. It's a series that I will play those games before anything else. If that's released on the same day, a Tales game is released on the same day as The Witcher and Uncharted 4 and all these other games, I'm going to play the Tales game first. It's like, it means that much to me. And it was just because one day I took the chance on playing this weird anime-covered game from Family Video.
Right.
So that had a really good ending. But that's the only game I can remember doing that for.
I can think of like 2 examples. One was like a game for the PlayStation 2. It's like the Eternal Ring or something. I don't remember the name of it.
I think I know the cover art though. As soon as you said that, I got a distinct image.
The Eternal Ring. Oh, hey, it's actually a game. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I bought that game. I played it for like 15 minutes. Had no idea what I was doing. Immediately regretted the money I spent, and then the next step, which would be asking my parents to take me to GameStop so I could return it, which they absolutely hated doing because I did it constantly back in the day, and they actually like stopped buying me games at one point because I kept doing that. But the game that I actually enjoyed that I did that with was I don't know if either of you have heard of it, but it's called Ehrgeist.
Nope.
It's nope. It's an old PS1 game. It's like and Ehrgeist is like a German name. I think the whole title is Ehrgeist, God Bless the Ring or something. Yeah, God Bless the Ring, Ehrgeist. And I bought it because it's a fighting game, and Cloud from Final Fantasy VII is on the front. It looks like a character from Tekken, and a woman from maybe what's the series, Resident Evil.
Huh.
Sure.
So I just saw Cloud. I was like, oh yeah, let's do this. I don't know what the heck this is, but I'm gonna get it. And in the end, it had like Red 13 from Final Fantasy VII. It had Tifa in it. It was a ridiculous 3D fighting game.
So it was Super Smash Bros. For Japanese companies, like
kind of
third-party companies. That's interesting.
You could say that, yeah.
That's weird, huh?
It was very weird, but I was happy with it.
We got a question.
Hold on.
We did.
Thank you again, Tunde, for sending in that question. We appreciate your questions each and every week. All right, so now next question, Lou.
Okay, this is from our newest listener, Fable Merc. He says, off topic for today's podcast. Doesn't matter. We will answer off topic as long as it's gaming related.
And in the listener question section.
And especially in the listener question section. He says, rumors are in motion that Polyphony Digital are working on the new GT game. Will the series finally move forward and catch up with Forza, or should Sony send the series to the crushers?
Oh.
Now I'm gonna foreface this with none of us actually play racing games.
That's not true, actually.
Oh,
I have something to say about this.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'll shut the hell up and go sit down.
Normally, you're right, Miles.
Yeah.
Normally, but we're not normally talking about GT.
Yep, exactly. I was like, any other racing game, Okay, go on, Lou.
All right. So, if we were talking another racing game, they would drop it like a ton of bricks. Mm-hmm. But we seem to forget, a lot of us seem to forget in the gaming industry, that I think, I'm not 100% sure, isn't GT the best-selling PlayStation 3 game still to date?
I would say so. I think that's right. I've heard and seen that a few places. I believe at least.
Right. So I don't think it's as easy. We've seen the failures. We've seen Drive Club. Other games really aren't catching up to what Forza does, except GT. And we haven't seen a new GT for a long time. But I think if there's one racing game that's going to come out and really rival them, it's going to be GT. And I think that we're going to hear from that somewhat soon, because that's normally a beginning of a system's game, because they want to show off the graphics engine.
Yep. Gran Turismo games have typically sold more than 10 million copies per entry in the series. Even offshoots or whatever, like the Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec, Gran Turismo 4, like some of them 15 million. Total, as of 2012, had sold almost 70 million copies, and that was before Gran Turismo 5 was released. And Gran Turismo 5, I believe, passed 10 million 2 years ago. And so, it's very, very, very much the best-selling PlayStation game. And I grew up with Gran Turismo games. I played the shit out of Gran Turismo games. I believe I had Gran Turismo 2 and 3, and put in hundreds of hours on it, and it was all about trying to get the best cars, I wasn't very good at racing, but it was awesome to be able to have these super fucking nice cars and race against people with them. So yeah.
You could still do it one day. You can still have all those cars.
Yeah. Maybe. If I hit it big, the lotto, which I don't play. So
you gotta start. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Just find a ticket in parking.
So if Gran Turismo 7 is coming, are you guys gonna play it?
Nope.
Isn't it Gran Turismo 7? 6 was the one I just mentioned, right?
I think so.
I'm not sure.
I haven't kept up in a while. One. Gran Turismo 6 is already a thing. Yep. Okay, so Gran Turismo 7 would be the next entry. Would you guys purchase it?
That might be my jump in on trying another racing game, because so far racing games for me for the last couple of years have solely included Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
But if Gran Turismo comes out, I might give it a shot.
Yeah, when Gran Turismo 6 was announced to be coming out, and when it was announced exclusive on PS3 and not coming to PS4, immediately I was like, nope. I'm not going to play this one, because I kind of would love to get back into it. But the fact that it was going to be exclusive to PS3, it was just, I can't do it. And so if they are making a PS4 version, they're making Gran Turismo 7, oh man, that might be the time for me to jump back in. Go back to being a kid.
I'll just say this, for me, I actually do enjoy racing games, just not most of them. It needs to be arcade racing games, that pretty much knocks Gran Turismo and Forza just completely out of the running. But I enjoy stuff like Burnout when it was more arcadey. F-Zero is really fun. So that said, no, I probably won't be playing GT. Although I do have a listener question.
Okay.
Ooh.
Now this one comes from one Firebird Mantooth, and he has to ask. So Deej from Bungie just posted up a tweet of a image photo book or whatever. I don't know what you call them. Well, there's a bunch of images and they were together in one tweet. I don't know how they do that, but it's of Ed Boon from Mortal Kombat, from NetherRealms.
You already lost me. Go on.
Finish Powerball all in one. Looks like it's a dish cleaning stuff, concentrated cleaning power. I don't know what that is, and a tombstone that says R.I.P. What does that mean?
Picture of this.
Yeah,
I'll just link you to the tweet.
I have
Please.
no idea, man.
Copy. It's in the chat now.
All right.
This is a mystery.
I'm legit curious
I
because
actually
it's
did see this. Okay.
Is Mortal Kombat and Destiny, are they coming together? Mortal Destiny?
I think he's saying that he's going to mop the floor with.
You don't mop a floor with all-in-one cleaning powder for.
Well, it's probably just the only cleaning thing he had around him. So,
Well, he could just lift up a mop.
I guess. But I don't know. He's gonna clean the. He's gonna wipe up him and kill him, and I don't know. Fuck it.
I think
I'm not good at
this
this
is
kind of thing.
this is one of my predictions for E3. Destiny and Mortal Kombat are coming together. We're gonna see Guardians of Mortal Kombat, and Scorpion's gonna be throwing NetherRealm portals around on Earth and
please
Mars
don't.
and stuff.
Oh no. I hope that doesn't happen. Okay.
I'm on the fence.
If anyone has a good clue to what this mystery tweet means, let us know. We certainly are confused.
Yeah. All right, so we haven't got any more questions today, so we're going to wrap that up, and we're going to move on to the game releases this week. Before we wrap up the podcast, on PlayStation 4 this week, you've got Aru's Awakening, which I believe is free on PlayStation Plus this week. Bastion, which is out now. At the time you're listening to this, it is out on PSN. Go fucking download it. Dark Souls 2, Scholars of the First Sin, Crinkle Crusher, which is three-way cross-buy.
Right.
Stealthing 2, A Game of Clones, which is also three-way cross-buy. And then Tower of Guns, which is another one of the PlayStation 4 or PSN game, or PlayStation Plus games, sorry. There's too many PS somethings. On PlayStation 3, you've got Aru's Awakening, Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin update, Crinkle Crusher, Stealthing 2, and Tower of Guns also. And then on PS Vita, you've got Element 4L. Yes, it's Element 4L, and it's all one word, no spaces, no periods, just Element 4L.
It's supposed to be elemental.
Maybe. 4 doesn't really. I don't think of it. Well, I guess it could be a lowercase e. Or
No,
A?
uppercase
A. Yeah, A.
I guess, yeah, it could be an uppercase A. Whatever. I'm sick of people putting numbers in the middle of words.
Oh, we speak.
Crinkle Crusher, and then Monster Bag, and Stealthing 2, A Game of Clones.
Cool.
All right. Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
So for Xbox One, we got Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin, as well as Tower of Guns. For Xbox 360, we have Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin again, and Monster Jam Battlegrounds. What?
Nice. On the Wii U, we have Affordable Space Adventures, if you're looking for something super expensive. On 3DS, Etrian Mystery Dungeon. The Etrian games are really good. I recommend those. Pokemon Rumble World, which I believe is free. They mentioned that on the... I guess we are telling... I guess we did predict that. It was a Pokemon game for the... Not the game we wanted, but the Pokemon game that we predicted for the Nintendo Direct. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, which is only coming out for the new Nintendo 3DS, so don't go running out and getting it if you only have the standard OG Nintendo 3DS.
That's coming out on Friday, so not really in the week like all the other games for everything else.
Right.
Yeah. So for the PC, you're looking at the falling sun. That planet is going to die wherever that sun is falling.
The sun's not a planet.
The planet. It's
Oh, okay, sorry. All right, yeah.
The Reject Demon, Toko, Chapter 0, Prelude.
Okay.
That's a lot of stuff going on in that subtitle.
Yeah.
Stealthing 2, A Game of Clones. Blue Estate. If you all are wondering about getting that, you probably should read all of the reviews, because it's not good. Wait, really? That's not out? Okay. Star Drive 2. Sovereignty, Crown of the Kings, or of Kings. 99 Waves to Die. That's smart. That's a smart name.
I thought I mistyped it, and I was like, wait, what?
That's funny.
Yep.
Dead Synchronicity. Tomorrow Comes Today. Say that 10 times fast. Hero Generations, and Don't Shoot Yourself.
Incredibly difficult.
See,
game.
now, why would you buy an obscure game or obscure title game like Dead Synchronicity Tomorrow Comes Today when you could buy a very simply named game like Don't Shoot Yourself? Like, at least you understand what you're doing in that one. Right?
I'm kind of curious as to what the challenge in Don't Shoot Yourself would be that they could actually make a game based around it.
I used to play an old Flash game called Don't Shoot the Puppy.
Oh, God.
And
I've heard about that game.
it was really good. Because the whole premise was if you touch your mouse or you touch your keyboard or any of that, you'd shoot the turret which you control would just go off and shoot the puppy who was moving. All right? So follow this. The things like that sounds really easy. Just don't touch anything. You just let the dog go from one side of the screen to the other, and nothing will happen to it. But things would happen where suddenly you weren't so sure what to do. Like for instance, a pop-up like an artificial pop-up would come up on the screen, and you'd be like, oh shit, let me just close that, and boom, you'd shoot the puppy because you moved the mouse. Or there would be a sign where the dog was going, just saying eternal suffering. So are you gonna let him go to eternal suffering? You're gonna shoot him.
I'm gonna shoot that bitch.
That's awful.
It might still be there.
hilarious.
So if you're around on the internets, go look up "Don't Shoot the Puppy." It might still be around. It's pretty fun.
Okay. So that wraps up episode 78 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. If you weren't aware somehow, we record this every Tuesday afternoon. We try to start at 2:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. Normally we don't get started until about 3 o'clock because we have to test everything and make sure everything's going, and then we all have to take our final pee breaks, and then Miles will get a phone call, or all crazy stuff happens. So we always typically start around that time period. We record this and upload it to all the podcast hosting services, so you could find us on basically any app you can get for podcasts. You can find us on YouTube. You could also find us on twitch.tv/MongPlays. That's where the podcast will be live streamed, and then it'll go up on all those other places afterwards.
Right.
We are on Twitter at mong.com, all spelled out, mong.com. Our YouTube channel where you can find the podcast is youtube.com/user/mongnetwork. And then all of our gaming live streams and our Let's Plays goes up at youtube.com/c/Middle of Nowhere Gaming Plays. They wouldn't let me do Mong Plays. They only let me do Middle of Nowhere Gaming Plays. It literally would not let me change the Middle of Nowhere Gaming part. It had to stay that. And it was like, now you can add whatever you want to the end. I was like, okay. So whatever. So it's Middle of Nowhere Gaming Plays. And then you can find us on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram by just searching for Middle of Nowhere Gaming. It's very easy to find us. However, now that somebody is stealing our freaking logo, it might be a little more confusing. And
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah. The website is middleofnowheregaming.com, and that's where you can find all of our latest news stories, editorials, features, reviews, all the podcasts, all of our new video series. Everything goes up there first. You can find links to everything on the website, so be sure to check that out. And then we are all on Twitter. I am at Osborne_2009. Lou is
At Lou Cantaldi.
And Miles.
Furious Milk.
So thank you guys for joining me. It was a very hot afternoon. I'm trying not to just completely look soaked.
It's really cold here. I'm like freezing.
New York.
I shouldn't be in cargo shorts. It's very misleading. I'm in a suit with cargo shorts.
So until next time. Mong!
Mong!
Keep it milky.
Ah!